I've always thought it was a little ridiculous that Teva charges $55 for a piece of foam, a little bit of rubber, some webbing, and plastic buckles. So I purchased the best rated Amazon knockoffs for 30 bucks and the absolute cheapest Teva knockoffs I could find at Walmart for $12 to run them through a bunch of tests to see if you really get what you pay for when it comes to Tevas. So the first thing I wanted to test was the straps themselves. So we rigged up a little test with the engine crane to try to pull these straps until they either broke or a stitch broke, or we pulled them through the midsole. So we did the Walmarts first, and it took 52 pounds to tear this through, and it came off pretty easily. I think because it's not looped underneath, it's just cemented down. There's no strap underneath your foot. Next we did the Amazons, and this one pulled through ridiculously easy. It only took 21 pounds to pull that strap up through the midsole. And once again, it's not connected, so the only thing holding together was just that little bit of cement. And finally to the Tevas, we put it on the test, and this one finally broke through at 89 pounds. So almost double the Walmarts and almost quadruple the Amazons. And a big part of why this one did so much better is because this one actually is looped underneath, so there's a strap sitting underneath your foot. So in order to pull this out, you have to rip all the way through that midsole and pull it through the foam in order to get it to fail, which is a much better design. And since these are technically, or most people use them as adventure sandals, or out hiking around doing things adventurous, we wanted to test how many pounds it would take to pierce through the outsoles of these sandals. And interestingly, the Walmarts and the Tevas both have a little bit of a felt-like fabric on the bottom, and I'm thinking this is the exact same loophole that Converse uses, where if there's a little bit of felt on the bottom, you can classify footwear as slippers, which slippers have a lot lower import fees. They import these as slippers to lower the price and increase their margins. So puncture test. So we did the Walmarts first, and this is a thermoplastic rubber, and it took 49 pounds to pierce through. Next we did the Amazons, and this one once again failed miserably at 34.5 pounds. They're a foam rubber, so they're not like a solid piece of rubber, that's an air infused rubber. And then to the Tevas, which is the only one that has a real rubber outsole, this took a whopping 94 pounds to pierce. So you don't want to be stepping on nails in these things by any means, but the Tevas once again showing a little bit of their worth by having a little bit higher quality materials that do offer some benefits to paying a little bit more money. And the Tevas also are the hardest outsole. We put the Durometer tester on this, and it comes in at a 70 short A, whereas the foam rubber of the Amazons are only a 40. So that's why these ones failed so miserably. And to the Walmart's credit, they were a lot harder than the Amazons at 65. So the best outsole is clearly the Tevas, even though technically by the import rules or whatever, they're slippers. And after the test that I was most interested in was testing these plastic little buckles on here, because as we saw in the Fjallraven backpack video we did like 2 years ago, there's a huge difference in quality of plastics, especially for buckles and hardware. And so we rigged up a similar test with the engine crane. First we did the Walmarts, and they broke fairly easily at 68.9 pounds, which I thought would be a lot stronger than that, especially for a sandal. And then we did the Amazons next, which finally the Amazons performed slightly better at 112.9 pounds. But the real shocker of this test, which completely blew me away, was the Tevas. So we rigged this up and kept stretching it and pulling it and cranking it. And we had to run this test twice because the engine crane raised so much the first time that the actual scale went out of the view of the camera. So after stretching to like twice the size, it finally broke at 285 pounds. And I had no idea a plastic buckle could hold that much weight and stretch that much without breaking. And for the final test, and probably the most scientific and the most applicable, the Campfire Test. So in Utah, a lot of people wear these as like hiking and camping sandals, and they wear them in the summer, and then you, at the end of the day, you're sitting by the campfire, and we've all done it before, camping or hunting or whatever. You put your feet up next to the fire to warm your toes, and then next thing you know, you feel that heat penetrating through your boot. You realize the bottom of your boots are melted, and now you're trapped in your scorching hot boots. So to test these and to simulate the most aggressive campfire ever, we took our propane torch, set it 6 inches away from the outsole, and lit it up and ran it until they started melting, and took a temperature of how hot they got before they melted. Well, the Walmarts we did first, they got all the way up to 872 degrees, which is kind of crazy because I thought for sure for a $12 shoe, it'd start melting at like 300 or 400 degrees. And then we did the Amazons next, which did slightly better than the Walmarts at 880 degrees. And then finally to the Tevas, which you would assume would do the best out of all of them because it's a harder rubber, everything's been good about them. But these started melting at 835 degrees. So lower than the rest, but all three of them still didn't melt until that 800 degree range. But looking at the outsoles after the test, the Teva's outsole looked the best out of all of them, and the foam reacted the best to the heat. And so we did a quick secondary test where we took a lighter and put it up next to the foam midsoles or the foam internal bits, and the Walmarts melted really quickly. It started on fire, it's hard to put out, and they started just like liquefying. And then the Amazons did pretty well they still melted, they still started on fire a little bit, but way better than the Walmarts. Then we tested the Tevas, which did the best out of the three, and it still melted and everything, but not nearly as reactive as the Walmarts. So even though the Tevas didn't do the best in the overall temperature, and there's probably a little bit of room for error there, I still think they're the best for campfire conditions, especially in a super aggressive campfire. So now that we got some preliminary information, let's cut these in half to see what's on the inside, tally up the results, and see if they're worth the money. All right, I got them all chopped, and the Tevas were way harder to cut than the other two, which was pretty surprising. I knew it was a little bit harder outsole and everything, but even the foam was harder to cut through. So let's see what's inside. So a few interesting things. The Walmarts, the heel strap does go underneath the foot, which we didn't really notice until we cut them in half. But you can tell the difference in the quality of foam. This Walmart foam, it feels like packing foam. It's really cheap feeling. But the Amazons don't have that strap going underneath the heel like the Walmarts do. But at least both of them do have multiple densities of foam. You know, this top layer is a lot softer than this midsole, and then obviously the outsole is a lot harder. But the Tevas is really, once we got it cut in half, this is where they really shine, because not only does it have the multiple densities of foam, but you can just tell it's a lot higher quality foam. It just doesn't have that cheap feel to it. It has a lot more rebound in it. It doesn't compress quite as easily. And there's also multiple layers with different densities. And you can see that the strap wraps all the way underneath on the front strap and the back strap. So clearly the Tevas are better in every single way. The strap's better, the foam's better, the outsole's better, the buckles are better. They're significantly better than these other two. The only thing it didn't win was the Campfire Test. The Amazons, on the other hand, I thought for sure that these were going to be basically the exact same thing as Teva's, just like a white label or just made with under a different name, but similar quality. But these were the worst out of all of them. These ones performed so terribly. And they are half the price of the Tevas, but also it's only a difference of $25. And they performed way worse than the Walmarts. The Walmarts ended up being the shocker of this series, or this episode, or this video. So overall, do you get what you pay for when it comes to Tevas at $55 compared to the $30 and $12 knockoffs? I think you do. I think that they're better enough in every way that it's worth the extra $40 or $30 to get the real deals. You might as well just go with the real Tevas because it's way less of a gamble, and they are better objectively in every way. But it is refreshing to see a company that produces a product that is significantly better than the knockoffs in every aspect. So thanks for watching, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because that's how we justify doing these videos and almost burn down our shop on a weekly basis. And we saved the most applicable and most important test of the adventure sandal class, the float test for the end screen. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.